Let's talk about making sacrifices. I was on the phone with somebody else the other day, and he kept on talking about his goals and his dreams. Then, after figuring out how to get there, he said something to the tune of, "Wow, that would be too much for him. He's not sure if he can sacrifice it because at the same time, he wants to be a boy, like he wants to experience his teenage years." And it was that simple. Is that people see sacrifice the wrong way. We'll see it this way. People see sacrifice as giving up, letting something go. At the same time, people don't know why we sacrifice in the first place. So let's start with why we sacrifice in the first place. The first reason we sacrifice is we have something that we desire that we think is going to make us be a better person. We strongly desire it. We don't have it yet. That is why we desire it. But now, for us to get that thing, we have to give. It's the same way you walk into a restaurant and you want to buy a pizza. You have to drop the money for the pizza. So it's an exchange. You give before you can get. So now, same thing. So when people see that thing that they desire is not so important or is not as important as what they are giving out. So for example, no one's going to give out $1,000 for a box of pizza because the average pizza is not worth it. It's not worth $1,000. So that is why some people don't sacrifice. However, if what you see you are getting in return in the future is better than what you have right now, then you have seen a reason to actually sacrifice. So, in general, sacrificing is giving up something of a lower nature to get something of a higher nature. Like giving up something that you believe is of less value or is valuable right now to get something better in the future. So that idea of losing just because you are sacrificing should completely leave you alone. You should be able to walk into any scenario and know what you are willing to sacrifice. So there are a few benefits to actually making sacrifices. One benefit is if you make a sacrifice, you have increased your chances of getting that desired future. And we spoke about this before because we all have desires. We all want to get somewhere. We all want to do something. We all want to be or do something. But yet, so few people are willing to ready to take up the sacrifice that's required for it. But when you actually make that sacrifice, it's easier for you to get into that desired future, into that desired character, to have that thing you're actually seeking. You see how it plays there? Another benefit we have is called the compound interest. You see, compound interest like the eighth wonder of the world. You must have heard it 1,000 times. But why is the eighth wonder? Is because it's those little things that you do on a steady basis, those little sacrifices that you make in a steady basis that would actually improve your entire life. And it's the sacrifices that you don't make on a steady basis that could actually determine your life. For example, let's pick your teeth. If you don't brush your teeth for 10 days, only the people around you who would know. You may not, you are aware of not taking the action, but you're not yet aware of the health of your oral health. If you don't brush for 10 days, you may not be aware. A month, you may not be aware. But for 5 years, not brushing for 5 years, you are definitely going to have some dental problems. And you are going to feel, and everybody's going to know. So that's the idea of compounding. So the things you sacrifice are supposed to compound over time. Then another benefit you have, the other tip I'll talk about here is you need to choose your sacrifice. So people have this idea that they are just sacrificing for the sake of sacrificing. That is why they have the idea of letting go. But in this life, we are all making decisions, and all decisions have trade-offs. And all trade-offs are actually sacrifices in themselves. So what that means is that if you're out there constantly making choices that make your future a safer place, you can either choose to sacrifice what you have now, or if you choose not to sacrifice what you have now, what you want becomes a sacrifice. For example, if you're somebody who gets angry easily, you have anger problems, and are trying to get into a long-term relationship with somebody who you will really, really value. You either have to let go of that anger problem or that ego so that you can maintain a good and healthy relationship, or you will sacrifice the healthy relationship for your bad temper, your anger, your emotional problems. See how it plays here. So it's either you make your sacrifices intentional, or the things you want become the consequences for you not choosing your sacrifices. Over here again, when you choose a sacrifice, or when you sacrifice, you also assist in delaying gratification. You are no longer in this constant frame of instant gratification where you are a slave to your desires, because you are consciously making efforts for sacrifices. So if you're making efforts to make all of these sacrifices, so what that means is that when you delay gratification, you're also improving your level of discipline. When you improve your level of discipline, everything in your life begins to change for the better. And this is where it gets interesting. Yeah. Sacrifice is simple. For each sacrifice, you have to apply discipline. Discipline that you have chosen for yourself, because that is the key point. You chose that sacrifice and you chose the discipline. You have to apply this discipline for a period of time, and that is where the compound interest comes in. You see how everything is somewhat connected. So, in all, you see people who want to go out there, they want to get something for nothing. They are looking for free ride, something free. They want something instant. They don't want to pay the price for anything. They don't want to work hard, but yet they want to enjoy the good life. I mean, the good life is, all life is good. They want to enjoy the luxuries of life for free. Nothing comes for free. Everything has a price. So if you problems here, I think, if you cautions that you have here is over sacrificing. So in my opinion, there's really no overbroad sense of over sacrificing. However, what we have are situations where people overpay for what they got. So for example, if you're a person who values family relationships, and you want to become a billionaire at age 20, you're going to maybe age 30, early 30s, late 20s, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of those relationships, a lot of those friendships. You're going to have to sacrifice nights out. Now, to you, if that price is too high, maybe you feel that when you get rich, these things that you care about will not really bother you when you are rich, then you know that sacrifice may be too much for you. So that means instead of becoming a billionaire at 30, you might as well just push the billionaire date forward. You can see how it becomes possible to have your relationships and still aim to become a billionaire later in life. So this time around, the sacrifice is actually time. You see how we are constantly trading in nature, trading in sacrifices that you cannot dodge. And I remember when that was in university days, and I refused to go to parties. I've gone for a couple of parties, but out of 10, I went for about 2 or 1 fair. And it's simple. I basically had a goal to leave that school in 4 years, because my department had a success rate of about 20% of people who graduate in 4 years. Mind you, in my high school, I was not entirely as smart as I used to think. I had low self-esteem. So coming into university, I knew the goal was to finish in 4 years. So I made that a goal. And by making that goal and making that discipline, I was able to make those sacrifices. Now, another thing people do is they under-sacrifice. So when they under-sacrifice, what does it really mean to under-sacrifice? Is sacrifice not the entire thing? So how do people under-sacrifice? Say you want to get to a particular body weight. That's your goal. And you know that to get to that particular body weight, you're going to have to sacrifice some junk food, maybe sacrifice time for the gym. But the time you put into the gym is not enough for the body. You've removed some form of processed foods, but that is not enough. You see how all this is coming together. You're going for a 6-pack abs. So when you under-sacrifice, you may achieve some level of that goal, And that is where people begin to aim high but sort of settle in the middle. You know when people say shoot for the moon and then you land with the stars, that's because they probably under sacrificed. If you shot for the moon and you sacrificed for the moon, you have increased your chances of actually getting to the moon, not just landing with the stars. And then one other thing is people sacrifice wrongly. Oh, it's the same thing with overpaying or underpaying, basically. And yes, do not just sacrifice wrongly. And one way to not sacrifice wrongly is to know the goal you're ready to go. And if you understand the concept of not giving a fuck about the subtle art of not giving a fuck by Mark Manson, you got to see the idea, the common thread of communication here, where if you actually choose your person, your own goal, what you can suffer for, the sacrifices you can make, then it now makes sense for you to go after such goals. People go around in life doing the exact opposite. However, you are here. You are here on this channel to think different. So, that's it, guys. That's the idea of sacrifice. You have to give something of a lower nature to receive something of a higher nature. Now, if you're in your 20s, high chances that you have to make a huge amount of sacrifices in your 20s. 20s are the age where you make the most sacrifices because at the same time, it's the same period you have the most potential. So what things should you really sacrifice? Subjective to your goal. But most things I would say is drinking, watching TV, because those things don't benefit you. You're probably making somebody else's rich. And my dad always had this saying that those that watch television don't have vision. So it's sort of a cliche saying, but growing up, it began to make sense to me. Now, hanging out with negative friends who don't inspire you, friends who even talk you out of your goals and your dreams, you should also sacrifice the social life. If you are the extrovert, even worse, because you may be like the life of the party. Like I said, it is either you sacrifice that life of the party for what you want, or figure out the balance, but know that there are consequences and there are trade-offs. It's the same thing I hear with work-life balance. If you pay attention to the guys that speak about work-life balance, it will begin to make sense. Now, the whole idea of work-life balance is, I want to work, but I don't want to work so hard that I give up all these other aspects of life. But what if you could make your work your life, or you could do work that you really, really love to the point where those things don't look like sacrifice. They're just automatic defaults. Or why can't you organize your life with your lifestyle? But you see how you just cannot dodge sacrifice. It is not possible to dodge sacrifice. Even the Messiah in the Christian faith sacrificed himself. You can see the common thread there. So, guys, that's it. Thank you very much. Kindly share my video with somebody who you think is going to see it valuable. It's such actions like this that make the channel grow. So, thank you very much. Talk to you soon, and bye for now.